Tonight, we are learning more about the two young men accused of murder. Investigators say a 14 and a 16-year-old fired several shots at a car driven by Stanley Freeman Jr. He was leaving school in mid-February when that 16-year-old was shot, crashed his car, and he died.
10 News reporter Grace King breaks down what we know so far.
We are one step closer to justice for the family of Stanley Freeman Jr.
Tonight, authorities say two juveniles are being held responsible for the murder of Stanley Freeman Jr.
We have two juveniles currently in custody, each charged with one count of first-degree homicide.
Documents obtained by 10 News identified those teens as 16-year-old DeAndre M. Davis and 14-year-old Rashawn Jordan. Typically, WBIR does not name juveniles charged with crimes, but due to the severity of the crime, we've decided to reveal the names.
It does always start in the juvenile court process.
But criminal defense attorney Don Bosch says we could see both teens tried as adults.
Given the magnitude of this case, it's not going to surprise me if the state seeks transfer of the 14-year-old from the juvenile courts to adult court to be tried on this case.
The difference in sentencing would be significant.
In the state of Tennessee, a juvenile can only be held on a commitment until their 19th birthday. However, if that juvenile is transferred to be tried as an adult, they would face adult punishments.
Right now, being tried and convicted as an adult carries a mandatory 51-year punishment. However, that could change.
This issue is before the Tennessee Supreme Court on whether 51 years is an effective life sentence for a juvenile. In other words, does that juvenile have a meaningful chance to have a life afterwards?
I'm Grace King reporting.
Motive in the shooting remains unclear, and investigators say they've uncovered no evidence suggesting that 16-year-old victim was the intended target. Police continue asking for tips in this case.